So I have this weird habit you may have noticed if you're a longtime viewer of this channel. I love talking about characters. Sure, I enjoy shows with good plots, detailed art, or interesting world designs, but I will gladly watch a show with the blandest world, most cookie-cutter plotline, and terrible art if the characters are worth it. But today I want to focus on a specific facet of characters. Basically, does more characters equals more better? God, my English is terrible. But first, a huge thank you to the sponsor of this video, Footmouse.
Introducing a revolution in gaming. Footmouse, the first science-based gaming mouse made for feet.
I've been using Footmouse for over 6 months. My APM is over 520, my KDA has doubled, and my win rate's up. I'm playing with my hands, my feet, my whole entire body is focused on the win. Since I've started, I've completely stopped feeding.
Footmouse, get your foot in the game.
Just kidding, just kidding. It's actually a Raid Shadow Legends ad. Raid Shadow Legends is a fun RPG you can play on your phone or you can play on PC. This is War Priest. She is best girl and carries me through all of my missions. Also, the daily login rewards have been doubled to 180 days, where you can get a ton of free rewards. If you guys want to join me and play Raid Shadow Legends, click the link in the description and you'll get a free 100k silver and also a free champion named Hexweaver, which will be waiting for you right here. Just be quick because this promotion is only good for 30 days. So come join me in Raid Shadow Legends today. So does more characters equals more better? That is the question I want to try and answer today. I bet a lot of you think you know where this is going. You think I'll inevitably say, well, obviously you want less characters in a show, so you have time to truly develop them. And no, I don't believe that. Frankly, I think that's a bit of a cop-out answer. So today I do want to delve into a few different shows with varying cast sizes and see if we can pick up some tips from them. Because frankly, I feel like a one-size-fits-all answer to this question just isn't the right answer. So let's start with one extreme. Wotakoi was probably one of my favorite romance anime to come out in recent memory. It came out in spring 2018 and followed a main cast of 4 characters, which is usually pretty standard. However, there are only 6 named characters in the entire anime. They really trimmed out an insane amount of additional cast. No one at their workplace besides the 4 of them is ever named or given any screen time. The show just hyper focuses on the 4 main characters and usually fills in any gaps of extra characters with Now, the main character's younger brother. And what we get is pretty amazing. The show really does spend a great deal of time developing all of the characters and their relationships with one another. The show mainly focuses on the budding relationship of Nifuji and Narumi and how much they miscommunicate at first before they begin to get more comfortable around each other. However, there is no denying that this show's world can't help but feel a bit shallow at times. With no other characters in this anime, it just kind of feels like these 4 are in this weird bubble together, and it ends up making their relationships just a bit too predictable. Towards the end of the anime especially, they throw Now into a pseudo-relationship with a new character named Ko that helps relieve some of this weird bubble feeling that the show has, but it still feels a bit too predictable, and the relationship loses any sort of nuance because there really aren't any characters to come in and screw with it. I think the overall development of each of the characters is fantastic, but I do think this kind of anime would have benefited from having a few more named characters. Well, now that we got that extreme taken care of, time to go to the exact opposite extreme and talk about a show with way too many characters, My Hero Academia. Now, I hope I don't have to explain the premise of this incredibly popular show. Either way, this show has the exact opposite problem of Wotakoi when it comes to named characters. As of right now, there are over 200 named characters in My Hero Academia. So yeah, a bit more than 6. However, I am gonna raise the unfairness flag real quick. My Hero Academia has 88 episodes in comparison to Wotakoi's 12. However, even if it were per episode basis, My Hero Academia still has 4 times as many named characters. And I'd argue that adding one character to a cast of 6 is way easier than adding one character to a cast of 10, but more on that later. Now, My Hero Academia does have a pretty creative tactic when introducing characters to such a large cast. Mostly, the show will spend a short period of time introducing a large portion of the cast. For instance, all of Class 1A. However, most of these characters will get very limited screen time. The show will then spend specific character arcs with each of the characters to help develop them and bring them into the main cast. It's a good strategy, but there are inherent problems with it. First and foremost, each character has to have relationships with the others, and after a long period of time, it can get really complicated. Characters like Tokiyami can be quite confusing because it's hard to remember what his relationship to characters like Ayoma is like, or if they even have one. It gets very complicated very fast because each time you introduce a new character to such a large cast, you can either lock that character into only ever interacting with 1 or 2 characters, which, frankly, is a super easy way to get me to ignore said character, or you can fully immerse that character into the cast, which greatly increases the web of relationships you need to build with said character. That's my point from earlier when I was saying that adding a character to a smaller cast is much easier than adding a character to a large cast. And that's not the only place we see My Hero Academia struggling. I mean, this show has so many characters that they've made it a habit that every time a character appears for the first time in an episode, they get a little nameplate with their name and quirk on it. I mean, that's some pretty big red flags. So what's the solution then? Well, I think having a large cast for a long-running shonen like My Hero Academia isn't a bad idea. However, I do think that having 200 plus characters and only 88 episodes is a bit excessive. So I'm gonna make a quick rule of thumb. I think if done responsibly, you can do 1 character per episode. I think I could reasonably see 12 characters in Wotakoi, and I don't think 88 characters in My Hero Academia seems excessive. I mean, a good example of this is probably Violet Evergarden. This show more or less follows that rule, and frankly I think it's one of the best character dramas out there. But like I said, this is more so just a rule of thumb, not a piece of hard advice. Violet Evergarden does tend to just discard characters after their character arc with Violet is over, and we're more so talking about permanent characters to the cast. Overall, I do want to say that I think shows that are specifically designed to be character dramas do benefit from having a lower character count. It does more so allow them to focus on the main characters of the show. I think a perfect example of this is Toradora. The show has a runtime of 25 episodes, but there's only about 18 characters in the show. Whereas I do think that shonen anime tend to benefit from having a slightly larger cast. I think the original Naruto did a pretty solid job, but then again, I am just kind of going off of memory here. I couldn't really find any proper resources to tell me how many characters there are in the original Naruto. Fun fact though, there are 1,200 characters in all of Naruto over 720 episodes. So from that point, technically, Naruto already has a better ratio than My Hero Academia. But that is my overall opinion on the question of, does more characters equal more better? And the answer is, sometimes. It depends. Because obviously, most things aren't as easy as yes or no. But that is probably the best way I can think of answering that question for you guys. A huge thank you to Raid Shadow Legends for sponsoring this video. I can't believe I finally landed a sponsorship, and I'm actually super happy I have to be part of such a unique campaign. Either way, a huge thank you to my patrons. You guys are my heroes. Make sure you guys share, like, comment, and subscribe. This is Manime Matt. Make sure you guys say man, and go watch that goddamn anime.